The H-3 Nozzlenose D kit is actually pretty interesting. It calls back to the Splatoon 1 Cherry Nozzlenose kit, so we can look back to that to see how that worked out. At the time, it was used primarily as a support weapon to farm bubblers pretty quickly. It only needed 180p painted to be able to get the bubbler, and that was a much stronger special in Splatoon 1 than the big bubbler is in Splatoon 3. So, at launch, I don't think this weapon's going to be especially strong. Like, I don't think in the meta that the game currently has that this has that much of a niche. But I've done tier lists before where the way that I put it was that some weapons have a niche and that niche just isn't as valuable right now, whereas others don't really seem to have a niche at all. And it was definitely far worse to not have a niche at all, or to have kit elements that didn't synergize well with each other to fill any one particular niche at a time. This weapon is very clearly designed to do one thing, which is stand its ground, paint a good amount, and take up a lot of space with things that you can't shoot through very easily. And it's going to be good at doing that. And I think the problem with it is not that it's bad at doing what it wants to do, it's that what it wants to do isn't going to be as strong in the metagame. The problem with Big Bubbler is it doesn't move. And it's really important, the way that the game currently works, to be able to take more space quickly when you win an engagement. You need to be able to move up on the map and take more map control. And this is going to be good for holding what you already have, but we already have, anchor weapons that can do that sort of thing. What you really want to be able to do with a weapon like this is use its range and use its high painting power to be able to safely get your special, and then be able to farm that and put it out very frequently so that your team is constantly benefiting from that while not hurting too much from the time that you're spending on farming the special instead of taking fights with them. If Big Bubbler ever becomes meta, I think that this weapon's going to be really strong. It's definitely going to be an option that you have to consider if you're going to look for that. And in any situation where you're really, really interested in having a Big Bubbler, I would give it a look at least. The splash wall is probably a little bit overkill for it. It's probably not really what it wants. It would probably prefer something it can poke with or damage combo with. Almost any weapon in the game would love to have a burst bomb, right? So there's definitely room for improvement on it, and I don't think it's going to be super strong initially. But I also think that, unlike some of the kits we've gotten, where we're just looking at this like, man, this kit killed the weapon, this one, it's more like, this kit makes sense, just maybe not yet. Maybe not on this patch, maybe not in this metagame. But I know that, like, for example, Dude is really interested to look into this, and that makes a lot of sense if you know Dude. Dude loves these mid-range shooters, these kind of zoning tools. And I think that's right up his alley, and I think that it makes sense for him to be excited about this, and that he's going to get a lot of value out of that sort of thing. So I wanted to discuss this because I think there's a lot more nuance to this kit in particular than some of the previous ones where I've just been like, yeah, it's bad, don't worry too much about it. This one, I'm going to keep an eye on, because while I don't think it's good right now, and I don't think it'll be, strong at a top level anytime soon, there's definitely the possibility that a metagame comes around where this thing suddenly starts getting considered. So I don't want it to, blindside us when that happens or anything like that. At the very least, Big Bubbler synergizes with it way better than Tacticooler ever did. So if you're an H3 lover, this is definitely the kit to be looking at right now, I think.